Hello everyone, welcome to this exciting lecture series on electrochemistry. In this video, we will study about a quick topic named standard electrode potential. So, according to IUPAC, the electrode potential has been defined as follows. In electrochemistry, the electrode potential is the electromotive force of a cell built of two electrodes. It is denoted by the sign E. So, whenever we have a cell, the electromotive force between two electrodes will be the cell potential or the electrode potential. Whether it is an electrochemical cell or the electrolytic cell, uh, the difference between the electromotive force between the two electrodes will always correspond to the standard electrode potential. The electrode potential. We will study about the standard electrode potential in the coming slides. Now, moving toward the measurement of electrode potential. Measuring the absolute potential of a single electrode on its own is actually not possible with the current experimental methods. This is because electrode potential is inherently a relative quantity. It depends on the interaction between two electrodes rather than existing as an independent absolute value. So when we talk about electrode potential, what we really mean is the potential difference between two electrodes. Okay, so we can only the difference in potential between the two electrodes can be measured experimentally. Since absolute electrode potential cannot be measured directly, scientists measure the potential difference between two electrodes instead. This potential difference is what we call the cell potential or electromotive force. By connecting two electrodes and measuring the voltage between them, we can gather important information about their relative tendency to gain or lose electron also, which help us understand their chemical behavior. Okay. To measure the potential of an unknown electrode, we set up a electrochemical cell with two electrodes. One electrode will be a reference electrode. This is a characterized electrode with a known value and which have a stable potential. Common example include the standard hydrogen electrode or the saturated Coulomb electrode. The other electrode is the one whose potential we want to find. By comparing the unknown electrode against the reference, we can calculate the unknown electrode's potential. When the cell is set up, we measure the overall cell potential, often denoted as E. Okay. This measured value is essentially the algebraic sum of electrode potential of both electrodes involved in the cell. It is important to note that the cell potential is what we measure directly, and from it we can infer the potential of the unknown electrode using the known potential of the reference electrode. Here is the key equation to remember. The cell potential is the sum of the potentials of the cathode and the anode. Conventionally, the cathode is where reduction occurs and has a certain potential, while the anode is where the oxidation occurs and has another potential. By using this relationship, we can break down the cell potential into its components. In this slide, we will look into a standard hydrogen electrode, which can be used as a reference electrode in the measurement of standard electrode potentials. So here is a simple diagram. We see that first of all there is a platinum electrode. Okay, so this platinum electrode is connected with the platinum wire. Hydrogen gas at pressure of about 100 kilopascal is introduced into this cell or the glass, which goes into the solution. Here is a glass bell around the platinum wire and the electrode, where an opening allows the hydrogen gas to bubble out of the solution. The molarity of the solution is 1. It means 1 mole per decimeter cube of the concentration of the H plus ions. In electrochemistry, Understanding the tendency of a species to gain or lose electron is crucial. This tendency is quantified using electrode potential. The potential of a half reaction, which is a half cell, measured against the standard hydrogen electrode under standard condition is called the standard electrode potential for that cell or the half reaction. Okay. The standard condition for this to measure the standard electrode potential, if the temperature should be 298 Kelvin or 25 degrees centigrade, pressure should be 1 atmospheric for gases, and concentration of the electrolytic solutions should be 1 molarity, which is the 1 mole per liter of solution. Okay. The potential of a half cell reaction is measured against the standard hydrogen electrode. The standard hydrogen electrode is a gas ion electrode, which can be seen here, and we have studied about it in the previous slides. The standard hydrogen electrode is used as a reference electrode for determination of standard electrode potential of elements and other half cells, which are used in the other cells. The standard hydrogen electrode is assigned an arbitrary potential of 0 volt under the standard condition to provide a baseline for measuring other electrode potentials. This reference allows the determination of standard electrode potential of elements and the other half cells by comparing their voltages against the standard hydrogen electrodes. The standard electrode potential are fundamental for predicting the direction of redox reaction and the electrochemical behavior of different substances. Here we can see the more clear view for the for measuring the electrode potential. The one side of the side of the electrochemical reaction, it have uh, the standard hydrogen electrode, and in the other side we have the another metal whose potential is to be measured. So by comparing the voltage between a hydrogen electrode and the zinc electrode, we can measure their strong potential. We can measure the voltage from this voltmeter also. Here is a salt bridge between these two stations. The function of the salt bridge is to migrate ion from the one side to the other side. So the accumulation of charges in both of these solutions should be avoided. So the basic function of the salt bridge is to maintain the neutrality in both of these beakers or the two half cells. If there were no salt bridge, some of the ions will accumulate in one cell and the other ions will accumulate in the other cell, and the reaction would stop in some time. On this slide, we will explore why standard electrode potentials are so important in electrochemistry. These potentials are not just numbers, they tell us how strongly a substance wants to gain or lose electrons. In practical terms, they help us understand which chemicals act as an oxidizing agent and which act as a reducing agent. So, how we can predict the spontaneity and direction of the redox reactions. First of all, the first point relates to identifying the oxidizing and reducing agent based on standard electrode potential. A higher value of E naught means the species is a stronger oxidizing agent. It really wants to gain electron and gets reduced. Conversely, a lower value of E naught means the species is a stronger reducing agent, which means it is more likely to lose electron and gets reduced. So the position on the standard electrode potential scale directly reflects how reactive a substance is in terms of electron transfer. Now we will talk about the determining the reaction direction. It is the second key use of the standard electrode potential. Okay, when two substances react, the one with the higher standard electrode potential will typically undergo reduction. Okay, while the one with the lower potential will undergo oxidation. This means that we can look at a pair of half-cell reactions and determine not only which direction the electrons will flow, but also whether the overall reaction will be spontaneous under standard condition or not. This is an extremely useful tool in both lab experiments and in the industrial applications. So that is the end of our lecture. I hope that you have learned something new. Thank you very much.